It's Geeky.Lykke Online, our 5th edition of our technical blog for developers and everyone who is interested in how Lykke is developing its app. And today we are going to discuss the migration that take place in Lykke this week, and some of the features, some of the main features that developers are implementing now and are planning to release in the nearest time. So, Andrei, please tell us what kind of migration did take place this week and why it happened?
No, first of all, I'd like to tell this was announcement on Saturdays. I remember that we asked our community team to tell our community that we're gonna have some migration. It was because we had some not legal issues. We just need to clean up some legal stuff and move all our resources to the data centers which has contracts with the company. So just to clean up some small legal stuff, and yes, and we actually do not have time because, as I understand, the more we wait, the more resources we need to move from one point to other. So it's no better now to do it and to learn how to do it in cases.
When we were discussing with you this migration, you told me that you were expecting that the whole process would take 1 hour, but in fact it grew into 4 hours of work and days of tuning all the rest. So what became the reason for such long migration, and what became an obstacle?
Actually, we had, I'm now telling the word had, not has. We had a lot of, how to say it, technical debt, some kind of, if we can say so, hard-coded IP whitelist and all that stuff, which we right now know all of them, and we have them in a Git repositories. So we just thought it would be less than we expected. So it's actually not too much, but it's very hard to find them. And actually, this is our first time we are doing such kind of task, considering that we were learning how to maintain Kubernetes. So it's a mix of events, and right now we have everything in one place. So if we need to move it again, we just have everything in YAMLs. Just.
You mentioned Kubernetes. Sorry. Okay, Oleg, go ahead.
I'm sorry. And as for me, I might add that the most painful was the part of we on the production before we were on a stage migrating from Docker Compose files to Kubernetes, and we were in the middle of this process. So we have a part of services in running in Docker Compose and a part of services running inside the Kubernetes, and we have some bridge between them. And imagine you need to migrate this already running migration process overall environment with already started running process to a new environment. And as for me, it was the most painful process.
The most painful process was because our IP are changed. And
yes, we were
changed. We need to make sure that all of them are changed in our settings, all the necessary microservices are restarted, everything like that.
Yes, we were already in a state of migration from one approach to another approach, and we were forced to migrate the whole system to another system.
It's a mix. Yes, it's a mix.
It was a mix.
Process.
It will be quite easier if we were, for example, only running all the services as Docker Compose, or, for example, running all the services inside the Kubernetes. It will be quite easier and much easier in future when we finish this process. But as for now, we were forced to migrate this process in the middle.
So what was the main problem with migrating Kubernetes?
Kubernetes itself, problem. It was around 1 hour to migrate Docker Compose, and today we started migrating Kubernetes. It was around 1 hour to migrate Kubernetes, and this is it. But but to adjust connections between them, this takes place right now.
So the immigration is underway now, right? So when are you planning to finish it?
Let's say we have two processes. One of them is to move everything from one not data center account to other account. That process almost completed. I'd say that process. I mean, if you're talking about production, we did not move yet other environments because we didn't pay attention to them. If they even something no happens with them, it's not a problem. So we are moving production. I'd say production right now it's around 70%. So and hardest part is done. So right now I think the easiest part we will finish it this week. I think so. Depends, we will see, but looks like the hardest part we've done. Actually, right now, we are recording this stuff. I'm just still checking. I was still checking. I just has interrupted.
We have migrated all the transactions related stuff, all the blockchains related stuff, and all critical, most of the critical parts. Yes.
Oleg, and tell me please, so did you find any particular weaknesses in the organization of the system, I mean the current organization, and if so, have you already optimized them?
If we are talking about the infrastructure, then the only issue is that we are not finished the migration to Kubernetes, and if when we will finish it, it will be easier, and it will be quite easy to migrate to any environment, any data center, and there will be no issues. As for the system, we have faced few weaknesses, for example, regarding the processing of messages with a huge flow of messages in a RabbitMQ. For example, when we lost a connection to one service, which has a large data flow, we have not enough amount of time to react and to process it. So we are working on an infinite buffer for these messages. I'm talking about, for example, for order books. We have a huge flow of order books coming every second, and we had hard disk storage for this RabbitMQ, if I'm not mistaken, 100 gigabytes, and it can be filled in an hour or two. So we are planning to change the processing of these messages, and in case of emergency, they will be archived and not lost, and we will not be in a hurry to, for example, to decide either we lost these messages or either we need to. There was such automatic questions. Yes. Andrei,
there is one life hack for guys who has RabbitMQ in their systems. There is a stuff if your RabbitMQ consumes all the disk and there is no space and you are trying to stop it, and it will try to flush everything from the memory to disk. It just can corrupt your database in the disk. So one life hack is just to keep on the disk like 20 gigabytes file if you have no memory, 20 gigabytes in your server. Just in case everything's gone, you just can delete this file and stop RabbitMQ just to have extra no volume. In case you do not have enough time to I don't know, to flash everything to the disk. Because you understand that we need to understand how many space left in our disk. We need to understand all the stuff. Here we are speaking about if your messages are growing very fast, like nuts, and you cannot do anything without it. So in this case, it's better to have some huge file. If you understand that your disk is almost full, then you stop messaging, you remove the file, and you stop RabbitMQ, and you increase the disk, just in case. And other stuff, yes, we are improving. We just put, how we call it, bridge, I don't know, just to have all the no messages in case some connection of some RabbitMQ is lost, and we can just have infinite amount of time to fix the problem and not to lose any message. Just to how to say, just to keep it until we solve the problem.
So you make sure that no messages are lost, right? You make sure that no messages are lost.
Yes, yes. The most important stuff, even if it's not important, no message, like, I wouldn't say it's important. It's important as well to have all the events of all the order book snapshots. But anyway, it's better somehow to make sure they have all of them. And it was other issue with the moving IT infrastructure from one account to other one. We had some release where we switched reading RabbitMQ pattern from async way to sync way. And this way, RabbitMQ, sync way plus RabbitMQ, sync way plus RabbitMQ, if one of them goes down, the left one is going, keeping all the no messages in the disk. So we need to somehow to make sure. And apparently, I was thinking about this, that left RabbitMQ is the most important one, because that one gets all the messages as how to say, as a first item in the chain. So we just need to put in the middle some buffer, some infinite disk, just to read everything to the buffer until we understand the problem, we fix it, and everything goes smoothly after that. So this is as well what we understood.
We have received a lot of experience from these cases, critical cases. We have made needed conclusions, and first of all, we clearly understand that there is no golden rule for some exchange or for some type of message. For part of them, we need to keep to dead letter exchanges where the messages are quite critical, like operations, and there are not a large amount of them. And for example, for flow of ticks of asset rates for order books, there might be another rule applied with a buffer inside in the middle, like Andrei told. And keeping these different cases, we are learning, we are understanding how to maintain and what to keep in mind for future type of tasks and releases.
So on the whole, we can conclude that the migration has been successful, right? Even though you faced certain vulnerabilities, you found them right in the system, you turned them into benefit, and now you optimize the system so that it will work even better than it does now. That's great. I guess that's it with migration. We'll get back to this question next time when we have a call. Oleg, can you please briefly also tell us what the development team has been working on this week? I mean, the features, maybe some news about Lykke Web Wallet. So go ahead.
First of all, I will provide update about regarding the web wallet. We have almost finished with transfers between the trusted wallets for which will be used for HFT and the trading wallet. The most part of the designs of the web of the front end part for a web wallet was already implemented by our team. So we are tuning the last markups, designs, and finalizing the transfers between the wallets. On the next week, at the start of the next week, we will provide the API endpoints for mobile developers to start them to integrate to web wallet and to support transfers between wallets. Moreover, this work that was done regarding the trusted wallet transfers will be used for Lykke cards and the transfers between them. So they will be used the same mechanism, and they will reuse the same code base that we have done for HFT. So it will speed up this release also.
Thank you. Andrei, do you have any questions regarding the issue?
I have just. Do you remember we were discussing previous episode about HFT and web? What is that? What do you know about the status? Most probably we will need to invite the guy next time.
Yes, I think we might invite guys from that are working on the HFT and the web wallet on the next release. But as for now, I can briefly describe what will be included in the first release for a web wallet. It will be this release will be mostly for HFT functionality. A user will be able to log in using his credentials for Lykke Wallet. Will be able to see all the balances on the trading wallet, and will be able to issue a new HFT account, which will bring for user an HFT API key and to make possible to use it for algo trading. Also, to fulfill and to transfer some assets or to fulfill the balance of HFT account, user will be able to start a transfer from trading account and using his mobile phone to process this transaction. So this will be the first scope of the release for a web wallet, and most part of the functionality is already done, and also the web part is almost finished, and Alexander is finalizing some refactorings and applying the markups. So we will see this all this stuff internally during this week, I believe. That's all for web wallet. In the future, I believe the future of this project is to cover all the functionalities that we have for a mobile wallet and to go wider, I believe.
Okay, I've got it. Thank you very much. What about the planned integrations of Lykke Wallet with other platforms and apps? So do you have any plans for it? Maybe you already have a plan of a list of platforms with which you are going to integrate Lykke app?
Yes, I can provide a brief review of statuses here. As for future our issues and for future our meetups, we can probably also invite the guys that are related to this task. As for now, Andrei Tarutin, in a cooperation with our marketing team and team especially, are working on integrating Lykke Exchange to another aggregators, promoting platforms. And for example, we have already integrated with a Bitcoincheker. They have approved our pull request to the system, and according to their reply, they are planning to release this version where we will include it during this week. So we'll see.
So generally, there are no deadlines, right? So it's up to the platforms with which we are going to cooperate, right?
Mainly, yes. Mainly, yes. We have a list of such platforms, and the list is widening time to time with the help of team. So we are going point by point and propose data sources or provide some integration mechanism to the platforms, and as soon as they are accepting us, we will be listed there.
Okay, got it. Thank you very much. Andrei, do you have anything to add on the topic?
No.
Thank you very much. So it was the 5th edition of Geeky.Lykke. If you have any questions or if you want us to discuss something in particular, please share your ideas in the comments below the video, and please follow us in all our social networks. You will find the links at the end of the video. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.